Welcome to the Biometric Update podcast. I'm Joel McConvey. Today's episode takes you to Rabat, Morocco, with on-site conversations from MOSIP Connect 2026. Managing editor Chris Burt caught up with Andrew Musoke from CMU Africa and DJ Kanwar of Next Biometrics to discuss the changing digital identity landscape in Africa and beyond.
So I'm here with Andrew Musoke from CMU Africa. How are you, first of all, how are you doing and how have you been enjoying the show so far?
Doing well, and yes, I think Morocco has been really beautiful, and MOSIP Connect as well, vibrant as always. So yeah, I've been having a really good time. This session was a bit gearing more towards the technical side, which I really appreciated. Personally,
compared to last year.
Compared to last year, yes. So a lot of vendors and implementers trying to create, showcase products around sovereignty and so on. So yeah, I really appreciated that.
Excellent. And you held a session here where you brought some of the hackathon winners from who were unveiled at last year's ID for Africa in Addis, right? So could you maybe tell us a little bit about, just a little bit about that session and what you presented here this week?
Yeah, definitely. So we, like you mentioned, we did have the students that were placed first and second in the 2025 hackathon, and really brought them here to give their feedback because it's been a couple of months since May and when the hackathon concluded, and they've had experiences throughout that entire process, from the day that they found out about the hackathon to winning the hackathon and what happened after the hackathon, right? So I just really wanted to bring them to this space, which admittedly there were not going to be any students, so it was intentional to put them in front of an audience of implementers, government and other entities, so because we want to position and demonstrate that this hackathon, though the products that come out of the hackathon are not just toy applications, and to show them what is possible, or at least a snapshot of what is possible in just the few months that we've been able to do this.
Yeah. So, and what was the response like? I guess there's two aspects to that. First of all, maybe the response of the students and how they found that. It sounds like something that would be pretty challenging, or potentially intimidating from a student perspective.
No, definitely, yeah. Admittedly, I had a couple of students, one of the students trying to get out of going on this big stage. It is very intimidating. Myself, I was having quite a couple of nerves introducing them. So yes, definitely it is intimidating. But at the end of the day, what I wish to push the students to do is to give them the opportunities that I wish I had when I was at their level, right? Putting them in front of this stage, regardless of the outcome, is exposure enough, right?
Sure.
It's going to shift their mindset, and I'm trying to put it in their minds that they actually do have something to offer to the ecosystem. So them sitting and getting 30 minutes of the time of the delegates and being listened to, just talking about the experience and having people clap for them and receiving that feedback, handshakes after the fact, I think is part of boosting their morale and getting them really ingrained in using digital identity to solve the challenges that they have back home, right? Because at the end of the day, when a student is developing a prototype, however good that prototype is, they're still going to have that question in their minds is, this is larger than me. Can I really make a difference? And I think they got to see that today.
Oh, that's fantastic. I do want to ask you too about the response from the audience, but before I do, we have covered on Biometric Update what those solutions were that the teams developed. But can you maybe just give us the sort of the elevator version for the two winning teams that you brought here?
Yeah, no, definitely. Very brilliant ideas, and I really recommend that whoever is listening can go to the article that was written by yourself on Biometric Update to get the details. But the first team is from Senegal, and they proposed a solution to the problem that within an emergency situation, let's say unfortunately someone gets an accident and they're unconscious, they cannot talk about maybe the blood type or the medication that they're on, allergies that they may have, and to the responder, the first responder, then it leads to costly tests that the responder has to make before delivering this life-saving medication, right, or response. So the team proposed using digital identity to give first responders a way to identify who the person is and what their blood type, their medication, and so on is, so that something that would take a couple of minutes or hours can be retrieved, the information can be retrieved in just a few seconds, and then we proceed to save their lives. So that was the first solution. The second solution came from Morocco, Kanwar University, and they stated that Morocco has a lot of challenges with energy distribution, equitable energy distribution, and they thought, what if we can assist the energy sector or the government to equitably give subsidies directly to households that need it? And the way to do this is using an application that can, and an array of sensors to track the usage of energy within specific households or regional households, and then with that tell who needs to be given what kind of subsidy, and this is tied to the identity of the owner of the household and so on.
Excellent. So two very different but high impact potential use cases there that you're talking about. So
no, exactly, and also that the diversity in the use cases really encapsulates what we're trying to do with the hackathon, which is to create, to enumerate use cases that anyone seated in a digital identity authority office or in a government office would never really think about, because they do not have that lived experience.
Very good, perfect. And so, what was the response from the audience to these presentations? You mentioned that there were, applause and handshakes. What was the level of receptivity?
Honestly, it was a bit, I'd say, medium on just an arbitrary scale. But I think that's to be expected, because this is something that is new. And again, the intention to bring them here was mainly to start to normalize the inclusion of younger innovators and show that they also have something to offer. So hopefully we do this a couple more times, then the response will get that much louder. This time around, it was a bit unexpected on the agenda, because we are in between a lot of country level updates. And on the other end, we are looking at vendors showcasing solutions. So we was smack dab in the middle.
That they have a budget for.
Exactly. And here comes these raw students talking about things that might have been a bit shocking to the flow of the conference. But that's the point, and hopefully we'll just keep at it until the response gets much better. And I hope that the audience starts to look forward to having this kind of interaction within every identity conference that they attend.
Sure. And what you're talking about, that sort of democratization and opening up of the conversation, seems to me to dovetail very neatly with what we're doing today with the unconference. I know this is motivated by the desire to bring in different voices, right? And Professor Rabat was chairman of MOSIP, was talking in his closing remarks yesterday about how important it is to include those different voices. So it sounds like your overall mission is resonating within the MOSIP community.
Yeah, no, 100%. And MOSIP has been a good supporter of the hackathon and giving us the technical expertise through the mentorship, and also just essentially being receptive to our ideas and giving us the stage as well. So within the MOSIP community or the MOSIP leadership, we are entirely aligned. So now the work is just for the rest of the identity ecosystem.
Fantastic. So stepping beyond the hackathon for a moment, I just wanted to ask if you could maybe highlight, one or two things that really stood out as particularly, interesting or new or encouraging that you saw anywhere else, basically in the event at MOSIP Connect 2026.
Yeah, I would say two things. The first was the shift in tone to sustainability of MOSIP. I noticed that within the first day and then moving onwards. So even as you mentioned, the president's comments, closing remarks. Again, having the understanding that digital identity is for the people. It's something that affects everyone in the globe, and needing to get those voices into the conversation and in molding the digital identity to make sure that it's serving the intended purpose. So that was really great. The second thing is more of a personal remark. I'm Ugandan, as you may know, and I was very just proud to see that Madame Rosemary Kisembo, who's Director General of the Uganda National ID Registration Authority, played really a key role in the conference and showcasing what Uganda has been able to do with very difficult brownfield deployments. So that was just a source of national pride.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's a very personal comment.
And it makes complete sense, though. I had a very difficult time catching Ms. Kasembo for an interview, which I thankfully did. She was very gracious with her time, but she's been, as you note, very, very busy speaking with that keynote and also doing some other things as well here, very active. So it seems like Uganda has now, kind of moved into a very prominent position in the MOSIP ecosystem. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, right now, one of the conversations was positioning Uganda as the model for brownfield implementations for larger economies like Nigeria, which is hopefully going to do that, tackle that challenge next. So, yeah, definitely. It's great.
Well, it's a lot to keep track of and to look forward to, I guess, for next year as well. So thank you very much, Andrew Musoke. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
I'm here with DJ Kanwar from Next Biometrics at MOSIP Connect 2026. Thank you for taking a couple minutes to talk to me today, DJ.
Thank you so much, Chris, for this opportunity to talk to you. It's always wonderful to see you.
Great to see you as well. And so the first question that I had for you today was, now that we're about midway through day 3, if you could pick out, 1, 2, 3 highlights, what are some things that you saw or heard at this event that were most impressive or encouraging or interesting to you?
Oh, good question. What I think is happening, if I compare it with other or earlier MOSIP events to this, I think so the line of questioning especially from MOSIP partners or the government is more in depth and in detail. Now they're asking the more relevant or tougher questions. Earlier, I felt maybe the conversations were still a little bit not so deep, right? Now I can feel, it was very high level. And now I feel that every time I talk to a different country's, representatives, they're asking more deeper questions, which basically is trying to say that I think so as a whole, we are learning better. Our knowledge base is increasing, and it's now, going to culminate into many more use cases and projects, essentially.
Well, that's definitely encouraging, and I actually want to ask too about what you saw and heard at your booth in the expo hall. In terms of what kind of visitors you were getting, and in terms of what kind of conversations you were having.
Okay, great. So we had representatives from many countries, be it Sri Lanka, South Africa. And these representatives were either from the government side or from from their ministry side.
Okay.
Then we also had a lot of consultants, who are helping the ministries. For example, like PwC or one of the consulting companies. Then we also got a lot of system integrators, right? So essentially, once a country decides that they're going to do something like roll out a MOSIP project, they'll get a consultant. Then the consultant will make those whole projects, and then they will invite bids from system integrators. So we saw all three different layers of people walk in. With us, because we are in the fingerprint side of the business of biometrics, they were really interested in understanding how they can make sure that frauds are limited in once they implement it, so that, and how they can do liveness detection on the go.
That must have been a popular topic.
Yes, that was a very popular topic, because I feel a lot of because the government agencies, once they're, it's like buying a very expensive car. You want to make sure that it works after you bought an expensive car. It should not be that you bought the car and it's not going to do nothing. Now it's just going to sit in the garage.
Nice.
It just looks nice, right? So similarly, governments understand that they are going to be spending a lot of money, time, people, and get this whole mandate to implement a system. But ultimately, that system needs to work. And fortunately or unfortunately, biometrics is a key linchpin in all of this. And if that gets compromised, then the whole chain is compromised. So they want to make sure that the liveness bit is there and there's a minimum compromise in the whole ecosystem.
Well, it makes good sense, and it's encouraging again to hear that the different levels on the sort of the buyer side, if you will, are all sort of taking that on.
Yeah. Another very good, interesting topic which actually came across was the whole idea of interoperability of different MOSIP systems going forward.
Sure.
So what we're seeing right now is, all right, for example, Morocco is doing their MOSIP, and then Philippines is doing their MOSIP. As we know, MOSIP can be customizable. Now
those are two very different examples.
But they're two very different examples, but they both are MOSIP. Now we've already had a conversation, and we had a panel today also. So there were like 7-8 people which joined in. The whole conversation was that, okay, if I have a MOSIP ID from, say, Morocco, and I'm traveling to Philippines, can my credentials of driving license also travel with me, because we are basically the same MOSIP framework? And how do we get there? So I think so going forward, this is also going to become really relevant, because not only are we trying to break the silos within the same country, but now different country wants to break their silos so that there is free movement of commerce or people or credentials can take place.
Very interesting, and a topic that's sort of coming to the MOSIP ecosystem, I think, from the broader digital identity and credentials sort of space, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It was very, very insightful, and it seems always great when the government people, like from different government, they look at each other and it's like, hey, I'm from South Africa, why cannot my MOSIP work in your Kenya?
Right.
So that actually happened in front of my booth. So that's when I was thinking, why? Yeah, that's a good question. Why are we not doing that? So soon, I think so. We probably, I'm sure MOSIP will think about this and create the standards around that.
We'll probably be talking more about it next year.
Yeah.
So we've kind of touched a little bit on the commercial side of things. Sustainability has been a big theme here this week. So, as a MOSIP ecosystem vendor, how do you see the sustainability of the initiative coming along? And what would you say about that?
So that's actually a very brilliant question, and I believe that the sustainability, and I'm going to take it to the sustainability of the business model or the continuity of so it's a sustainable, continuous process of whatever system that you put in place. It is imperative, because when a country decides that they're going to enroll all their citizens into this one database, it takes a lot of time, effort, and money.
Sure.
They obviously want to make it sustainable enough that it keeps on going on and on. So hence, we've had a lot of conversations around that standardization and that sustainability part, or even interoperability in that sustainability part. The more it can run on its own and can, does not need a lot of support, I think so it's going to be more sustainable. It should not be that, now, for example, the government changed, or there was this modality went away, and suddenly the whole system collapses. Hence, people are already talking, I think so, around how do we create a solution which is sustainable, not for a year, not for 10 years, but for generations going forward.
Well, it's just a technology question there, and then there's a regulations and standardization question, and then there's the commercial side. There's just sort of a lot of different aspects that need to be in line.
And everybody, I think so, the most people I spoke with agreed that it's not a technology issue. It's going to be a governance issue. It's actually ultimately going to be the political agreement, or I want to say willingness from different countries to say, hey, we actually agree that this should happen, and then only that sustainability thing is going to come into play. I think there's going to be a lot. So so that's why I actually give a lot of kudos to the government guys, because it might seem sometimes that, hey, what are they doing? They just made a decision to implement MOSIP, but that's not the case. There's actually a lot of hard work that they have to do to make sure that the whole country agrees that they're going to implement this, right? And so kudos to those guys.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And if they are sufficiently careful, then surely that raises their chances of successful outcomes that will contribute to that sustainability.
Yes, and then they can create something which is generational, right? And obviously help the country as well. So I completely agree. Yeah.
Well, this has been very, very interesting. Thanks very much, DJ, and we'll see you again. In fact, I will see you, I think, before next MOSIP Connect, probably, right?
Oh, absolutely, Chris. It's always a pleasure meeting you and doing this together. If you need any other support, we are here.
Thank you.
Welcome back from Morocco. Thanks to Andrew, DJ, and Chris for giving us today's episode. You can check out all of Chris's MOSIP Connect 2026 coverage, along with all the latest news on biometrics and digital identity across the globe at www.biometricupdate.com.